She doesn't want to be understood. She wants to be felt. And if you're searching for logic, you'll never make it through inside a woman's desire. Because what excites her isn't what you'd assume. It's not muscles. It's not money. It's not compliments. It's tension. It's mystery. It's the man she can't quite read. She won't explain this to you. She can't because her desire isn't verbal. It's cued by your stillness, by your emotional control, by the silence between your words, where she begins to dream things you've not yet spoken. These are the unwritten rules, because most men don't even notice them. But once you see them, she'll dream about you. She'll yearn for you and won't even realize why. Like the video if you're ready to make her play yours. Subscribe if you want to learn the actual rules of attraction. One craving starts where you know for sure. The second she knows she has you is the second her craving starts to decay. Not her love, not her gratitude, but that raw electric heart-tracing hunger. It perishes in the grip of predictability, for female hunger doesn't flourish in security. It flourishes in tension, in mystery, in the unresolved. You'd like to know why the good guy finishes last? Because he responds too quickly. He explains too much. He provides her certainty before she's even begun to feel anything. And desire, true desire, is born in that space between what she feels and what she's not sure she's permitted to feel. You don't have to be toxic, you don't have to be cold, but you do have to stay unpredictable. This is the Stoic truth. The more she knows you desire her, the less she has to feel, because now her nervous system relaxes. And when her nervous system relaxes too soon, the tension that creates lust wears off into emotional flatline. It's not that she doesn't care about you. It's that she no longer has to win you, and women don't desire what they already have. They long for uncertainty with edges, not chaos, but unresolved tension. The instant she catches herself thinking, "Why didn't he text back yet? What's he thinking at this moment? Did I share too much?" That's when desire is real. It's not reasonable, it's instinct. She must be able to sense that she's leaning in, not because you're backing off, but because you're not pursuing, because you're existing, you're moving, and she's not yet completely sure where she is. That not knowing, that's where her fantasies come to life. Most men ruin that before it's time. They overshare, overcommit, overpromise. They kill the suspense. They become emotionally obvious. They give up their cards too soon and ask themselves why she quit texting back. Here's the catch. She will never entirely relax around the man she fantasizes about, and she will never fantasize about the man she entirely relaxes around too early. So what do? You slow everything down. You move with purpose, not whim. You flirt with your gaze, not your mouth. You respond when you want to respond, not when she does. And when she prods you on what you're thinking, you smile and say, "Not ready to share that yet." Now her imagination fills the silence. Now she's leaning in. Now she's fantasizing at night because you created a space she must fill. That's not game. That's contrast energy. And the man who provides her contrast, the one who is warm without being desperate, attentive but not on demand, interested but not emotionally vulnerable too soon. That's the man who turns her on because he knows the first rule of female desire. Desire does not reside in certainty. Desire resides in suspense, and it starts the moment she no longer knows she has you. 2, she wants you to take her somewhere. She's scared to go. She'll never tell you. But the man who makes her feel safest is the one who also makes her feel slightly out of control. Not in a reckless way, in a pulling way, in a directional way. Because her body doesn't respond to indecision, her desire isn't activated by a man who asks for a roadmap. It's activated by the man who becomes the map and dares to lead her somewhere she didn't expect to go. This is the rule no one tells you. Her wish isn't for security, it's for leadership into emotional risk. She wants to follow, even if she acts otherwise, even if her lips say, "I'm independent." Her nervous system still yearns for a man who takes the initiative, who enters the room with confidence, who orders with calm, who decides without second-guessing her response, who says, "Come here," rather than, "Is this okay?" This doesn't equate to force. This doesn't equate to control. This equals direction. A woman is not turned on by softness alone. She is turned on by structure that takes her into softness, by a man who makes her feel like she can finally let go of the wheel. The way she talks with her eyes, she's waiting for you to notice. The way she slows her breath when you're close, she's waiting for you to lean in. The way she cuts off talking when you touch her hand, she's waiting for you to do something she won't dare ask. Because her truest needs exist in the unspoken, in the giving in being moved to emotion by one stronger than the lies she's told herself. She'd like to be kissed before she knows she gave consent. She'd like to be held with a quieting of her mind. She'd like to be said, "I like the way you stutter, it's real." And feel understood in her fear, because that fear, that hesitation, that's where her deepest fantasies reside. And the only man who unlocks them is the one who enters confidently into them. Most men hesitate, they seek signs, they desire certainty, they say, "I don't want to make you uncomfortable." And in doing so, they become forgettably safe. But the man who looks at her like he knows what she desires before she does, the man who leads her energy, not merely mirrors it, that's the man who remains in her dreams because he didn't push. He guided. He took her by the hand, not physically but emotionally, and took her into a version of herself she only reveals to the right man. That's the trick. She's not hiding her desire. She's keeping it safe, waiting for a man with enough emotional control to hold it without fleeing from it. And when you become that man, when you stop asking and begin guiding with serene, earthy energy, she softens because her body finally gets that it can release, that she doesn't need to be in charge of this moment, that someone else is in charge. And it turns her on more than she'll ever confess, because she's been in charge of her whole life, making choices, protecting herself, holding things together. And all she wants now is a moment where she can break down into your space, where you guide her somewhere she's never been, trusts you this much to go. That's not game. That's not manipulation. That's energetic leadership. And it's the second rule of female desire. She doesn't need to remain in control. She needs to trust your guidance so much that losing control is the fantasy. 3. She needs you to desire her, but not too much. Yes, she needs to be desired, but the second she feels worshipped, her desire melts away. It's a paradox most men never crack. She needs to be desired, but she craves only the man who doesn't desire her too much. Why? Because when a man desires her too openly, too eagerly, too often, he moves out of intrigue and into emotional submission, and that ruins it. Her body isn't programmed for devotion at first sight. It's programmed for the insecurity of being close to a man who might want her but isn't sure. The nice guy says, "You're everything I've ever wanted." But the guy who's driving her nuts, he glances at her and says, "You're interesting. I'm still figuring you out." That difference makes all the difference because she doesn't want to be a prize for being needy. She wants to be a response to your expectations. She wants to be earned, but only when she feels like you don't have to win her. That's what gets her going. That's what makes her fantasize. Not about what you'll do for her, but what it'll take to make you choose her. Because your approval, that's currency. And if you hand it over too quickly, without effort, without contrast, without making her feel the tension of not having it yet, she stops feeling pulled toward you. Desire dies. Why? Because you've made it too easy. And female desire does not thrive in ease. It thrives in the pursuit of emotional elevation. She wants to feel like you see her. Yes, but only after she's demonstrated to you why she deserves to be seen. Not because you're cold, not because you're manipulative, but because you have emotional discipline. You want her, of course you do, but you don't need her. And you damn sure don't announce your obsession before she's demonstrated her soul. That restraint, that tension, that calm hunger kept just below the surface, that's seductive. It's the energy that states, "Yes, I desire you, but I won't pursue you. You'll know it when I think the time is right." And now she leans in because you've made your interest feel earned. Not reflexive, not ritualistic, but deliberate. And when she feels that your desire isn't a default, but an intention decision you're still withholding, she becomes fixated on gaining it. That's what's keeping her awake at night. Not the man who spews his guts on day one, but the one who stares at her like he could shatter her confidence and hasn't yet made up his mind if he will. It isn't being hard to get. It's hard to move. Stoic men know this. You don't overwhelm her with attention. You induce a drought so each drop is sacred. You don't smother her with love. You give her your gaze, but not your approval, your notice, but not your complete emotional surrender. Not yet. And when you finally do give it, when you finally lean in, when you finally tell her, "Now you've got me," she melts because she knows how rare that moment was. And now her desire isn't founded on what she sees in herself.